The main principle behind which governed the modern periodic table was given by Henry Moseley, right? So it was devised by John Dalton, no doubt about that. But the main thing where the Henry Moseley said that uh, atomic number is more fundamental than the atomic mass, and all our and the and the modern periodic table or the periodic table should based on the atomic number rather than atomic mass. There are certain features of the modern periodic table. Let me discuss all those features one by one. As I've told you that there are 18 vertical columns. Like Mendeleev has given us in his periodic table, Mendeleev has written in his periodic table the columns and the groups. In the same manner, in modern periodic table, there are the vertical columns and the horizontal rows. The vertical columns are called as groups, whereas the horizontal rows are called as periods. Modern periodic table, we are having, in modern periodic table, we are having what? 18 groups and 7 periods. Out of them, there are certain which we call as short period. There are certain which we call as long period. You can see that there are 18 vertical columns which we call as groups, whereas 7 horizontal rows which we call as periods. There are very short period also. There are very short period, and then long periods, right? What is now very short period? All those elements have been placed in this period who is having only one shell. You know, while distributing from your class 9th, you have already learned about how to distribute the electrons. For example, if there are the sodium, it has 11 as atomic number. So distribution of electron will be like 281. In the same manner, if we start with hydrogen, its atomic number is 1. Helium, its atomic number is 2. Lithium, its atomic number is 3. Now, if I try to distribute them as per their shells, so I will see to it that the first shell, that is hydrogen, first shell is complete because hydrogen has only one electron, and the capacity of K shell is to hold 2 electron. But what to do? Hydrogen has only one electron, so only one electron will be there in the K shell. Then for helium also, because the capacity of K shell is 2, so the 2 will be there in the K shell. But about lithium, it will be 2 and 1 in the same manner. So those elements in the very short period, if you will consider about the first period where hydrogen and helium has been placed, that is called as short period. Where the hydrogen and helium has been placed, that is called as short period, and very short period rather than short period, it is called as very short period. Why why only hydrogen and helium has been placed? Because in this very short period whose K shell is only filled, they will be present in that period. Hence, the first period has only 2 elements, because in K shell, their first period consists of those whose only first shell is complete, any K shell is complete. So that is why hydrogen and helium find its place in the very short period. Then there are short period. Short period, in the short period, that is period number 2, you can see that there are 8 elements. Now, how they have been placed? They have been placed in such a manner that who are those elements where they are having K shell and L shell. They have been placed in next. They have been placed in the second period, right? Hence, the second period has 8 elements and is called as short period. Why? Because they are because they are having two shells, K shell and L shell. And in third period, we are having those whose who those elements who is having 3 shells and their last shell is incomplete. Here in the second period, their last shell, L shell is incomplete. Here in the next period, that is period number 3, that also consists of the 8 elements, right? And then there is the sixth period and seventh period that contain 32 elements, and that is called as long period. Fourth and fifth period have 18 elements and also called as long period. These were the certain, you can say, the features of the periodic table, right? Now let me discuss about the various trends in the periodic table. So first period, hence first period has 2 elements, so it is shortest period, that is why it is called as very short period. Second has 8 elements, that is why it is called as short period. Third has also 8 elements, but whose M shell is incomplete. First is K shell, then in the next period there are K and L shell, and the third they are KLM and M shell is incomplete. So they are called as, that is called as short period. Then fourth and fifth contain of 18 element, that is called as long period. Then there is the sixth period, that is the longest period, right? And below you can see on your screen there is below the periodic table there are the 2 series which is called as lengthenide series and austenite series. They are the part of 6th and 7th period only, right? Okay, if I say the periodic table has broadly divided into metal and non-metal, right? You can see that the zigzag line, there is the color scheme which has been used to differentiate one from the another. Now what broadly the periodic table has been divided into, metals and non-metal. Then name, the first group has been named as alkali metal. Elements of group 1 are called as alkali metals. Those of group number 2, you please remember the name of all those, all those groups, right? Okay, I will be start. Now, as I've told you that there are the name, please write down somewhere. The name of first group is called as alkali metals. Group number 2 is alkaline earth metal. Group number 2 it's called as alkaline earth metal. Group number 13 is called as boron family. Group number 13 is called as boron family. Group number 14 is called as carbon family. Group number 15 is called as nitrogen family. 16, it's called as either oxygen family or chalcogen. Let me write it down on the board so that you can note it down. Group number 16, which is also called as oxygen family, or it is also known as CALCOGENS, chalcogens family, right? Then 17 group number is called as halogens, while those of 18 group, that is called as inert gas, noble gas, or rare gases. You can see that third B to second B, these are called as transition elements. These are called as transition elements because their property lie in between the properties of the element group number 1 and 2. Right, those elements which you can see a zigzag line in the almost on the right side of the modern periodic table, a zigzag line running diagonally across the periodic table. Right, those elements which lie on the left side, those elements which lie on the left side are metals, and those which lie on the right side are non-metals, and which lie in between and has been highlighted with the pink, that is called as metalloids. They are called as metalloids, that is semi-metals which show the property of both metal as well as non-metal. So these were the characteristic features of the modern periodic table. Now we have to see it that whatever were the limitation of Mendelian periodic table, has they been removed in the modern periodic table? The first limitation, if we talk about the Mendelian periodic table, was that Mendeleev was not able to assign a proper place to hydrogen. You can see that although hydrogen has been placed in group number 1, although hydrogen has been placed in the group number 1, but through the color scheme, it has been separated from the group number 1 also. Right? So this is that anomaly of hydrogen of Mendeleev was removed in the modern periodic table, because there are the certain color schemes which are used just to indicate that they are the special atoms. For example, what you can see on your screen, hydrogen has been separated, although it has been placed in the group number 1, right? Because its valency is 1. Because its valency is 1, so it has been placed in group number 1. But it is not a metal. It is not a part of alkali metal. So it has been separated out by the color scheme. You can see that the color scheme of hydrogen is different and the color scheme of alkali metal is different, that is lithium, sodium, potassium, right? So I hope I am clear on this point also. Then second point, second anomaly of Mendeleev was he was not able to assign a proper place to isotope. Now in modern periodic table that has been removed. Why? Because modern periodic table is based on atomic number. If we talk about isotope are the one whose atomic number is same, but atomic mass was different. So as our modern periodic table is based on atomic number, so all the isotopes will be placed in the same group. They will belong to the same place which is being provided, right? So because their atomic number is same, so they all have to be in the group number 1, right? This is also one of the anomaly which has been removed. First was a proper place to hydrogen that has been provided in the modern periodic table. Second anomaly was no position for isotopes, that has been also removed in the modern periodic table, right? And third was a wrong order of cobalt and nickel. Although the atomic mass of cobalt was more than the atomic mass of nickel, but still Mendeleev placed cobalt first, nickel later on. But let me show it to you. If you will go in the modern periodic table and try to find out cobalt and nickel, while my cursor is there, you can see cobalt is placed first, followed by nickel. And it is quite right also. Why? Because atomic number of cobalt is 26, where atomic number of cobalt and nickel is 27. So naturally, this anomaly of Mendeleev has also been, you can say, it has also been removed. Why? Because now as our modern periodic table is based on atomic number, so we will place cobalt first, nickel later on. So all the anomalies of the Mendeleevian periodic table were removed in the modern periodic table, right? There are certain advantages of modern periodic table, and they are, it helps us to easy remember all the property of the elements. Why? Because if you know the property of a group, that property is applicable to each and every element of the group. So we don't have to remember separately, remember each and every element, properties of each and every element. We can remember the property of the group, then it's easy to remember, right? Now we are going to discuss about the trends in the modern periodic table. There are certain trends which are said to be in the modern periodic table. Now what all are the trends in the periodic table? One by one, I would like to discuss about them. First is valency. Valency means the combining capacity. Valency is the combining capacity of an atom of an element, right? Those, like if I talk about alkali metals, if I talk about the group alkali metal, right? There is the hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, and cesium and francesium. If I talk, if I write down their atomic number, it is 1, 3, 11, 19, then there is 37 and so on. Let me show you that their valency will remain same. How? Although their number of shell will increase, but valency will always remain same when you move in a group from top to bottom. Like here you can see in the K shell only one element, so its valency is 1. In lithium, the electronic distribution will be like 2 and 1, right? So the valency is 1. Valence electrons are same, 1 and 1. Valence electrons are same. Here 2, 8, 1. You can see the valence electron always remain same, 2, 8, 8, 1. So you can, from this we can conclude that when we move in a group, the valence electron remains the same. Valence electron remains the same, and it is the valence electron only which will determine the valency. As you know, already only one element is there, one electron is there in the last shell. So they will try to donate their electrons. So the valency of group number is +1. Valency of group number 1 is +1. Valency of group number 2 is +2, right? Then valency of group number 13. Valency of group number 13, where there is the boron family. The valency of the group number 13, or that is third A. Valency of group number 13, that is third A, you can see in the periodic table, which is called as boron family. Their valency is +3. Then the valency of group number 14 is ±4. Means it can neither donate the electron nor it can gain the electron, because its last shell has 4 electrons. Then valency of group number 15 is -3. Valency of 16th group is -2. valency of group number 17 is -1 and valency of group number 18 is 0. Right? If I talk about boron family, for example, let us see that is it correct that the valency of boron is, if I talk about boron, it is 5, then aluminum, it's 13. You can say that once we start doing the electronic configuration, it will be 2 and 3. Here in aluminum, it will be 2, 8, 3. So they can donate these 3 electrons because it is easy to donate. Now, if I want to see about the carbon family, carbon, silicon, carbon atomic number is 6, atomic number of silicon is 14. So it will be 2 and 4. Here it will be 2, 8, 4. So you can see to it that their valence electron remains same. So their valency will also be same. Right? When we move in a group, that is when we move from top to bottom, the valency, the valence electron remains the same and valency also remains the same.